These are just some of the things that I was dealing with for the past few months. Okay. We have a lot to catch up on, my gosh. Hello, my name is Jerry. And if you're new here, or let's be real, it's been a while and you probably forgot about who I am. I'm an actor and voiceover artist who most recently has worked as a performer on Disney Cruise Line. And that's mainly what my channel has been focused on, is kind of my cruise ship life and what I kind of do to prepare to work on a cruise ship. And as always, there is so much I have to catch you up on. I'm currently filming this in August of 2024, and I got off the ship back in June, so just a couple months ago, but a lot has happened in the last contract and just in the past couple months, so I just figured I have to come on here and kind of explain myself because, you know, she's been absent, and I understand that she's been absent. For example, I'm in my new apartment, which I will do a little apartment tour probably coming up in the next couple months, where I have a lot of DIY projects and a lot of decorating to do. So I think that'll be really fun to showcase on the channel, because as much as my channel has been focused on cruise ship related content, there's just so many more things that I'm interested in, and I feel like I should be able to share it on my channel. Before we get into it, I do have to thank everybody who came up to me while I was working on The Wish, whether it was a crew member or a guest. Like, there were so many of you that recognized me from YouTube, which is so crazy because, again, I kind of just make these silly videos just because I find them fun and it's kind of fun to share what I'm up to. Yeah, it's just been so fun to meet you guys, so thank you so much for coming up to me. It really warmed my heart that like people are actually like watching my videos, which is like, I'm uploading them on the internet, like of course people are gonna watch them, but it's really cool to like have real faces and real people come up to me and say hi, so that was really, really cool. So anyway, I'm gonna get comfortable here because where do I even begin? So as you may know, I have worked for Disney Cruise Line for the past 3 years. I've done 3 contracts. For my 3rd contract, I went back on The Wish, which was so fun because of course, this time around, I know the ship, I know a lot of people there, and it was really great that my fiance is also working there still. If you don't know, my fiance is a photographer on the cruise ship, and we met while working together, and you know, the rest is history. It was so great to go back to, honestly, like cruise ship family, and of course working with old friends and new friends was really fun as well. The holidays, like Christmas, New Year's, that's always a really exciting time on board. And honestly, it was just really nice to kind of have settled into a routine because I've already worked there before on The Wish, so it was honestly just kind of nice to enjoy it more this contract, I'd say, because I was so much more familiar with all the spaces and the people, so that was really great. It was also just fun to do things on The Wish that I hadn't really done before, or things even at Castaway Cay. At this point, like I've been to Castaway Cay hundreds of times, but it was so cool to still go on bike rides and go snorkeling, and like we went banana boating at one point, so that was really fun. But with all that being said, of course it's really hard when I work anywhere from like 50 to 65 hours. That's just like kind of the cruise ship norm. Like everyone works a lot on cruise ships and there's no like real days off. So it's hard to find time to do like certain hobbies you have because it's just such a limited amount of time. Plus, there's not really like free access to Wi-Fi like you would have on land. On board, we have a certain amount of hours that are free internet, but once you use up those hours, you do have to pay for internet, and it just can get very expensive. And it was just something I could never sort out on cruise ships. It's definitely really tough to juggle like working so much and then also like having time to make videos or, you know, content. And I'll be the first to say, like, I love YouTubers that cover cruise ship content. For example, example, like Cruising with Crew or Aboard with Jord. I love both of those channels because they give a lot of big insight into cruise ship life and what it's really like, what to expect, what to plan, what to pack. And I've had some of you like reach out to me over Instagram or in my comments asking for help applying to cruise ship jobs. And I'm gonna be the first to say I am not a recruiter. I am just a 20-something gal that has worked on a cruise ship. Like, I cannot give you that type of advice. Like, I can try my best to guide you the right way, but I'm not a recruiter and I'm not a career advisor, if you will. I wish I could help, but I do think someone like Cruising as Crew is a great resource. Lucy makes such great informative videos, so definitely check them out if you're unsure of where to start with looking for a cruise ship job. And of course with Jordan, she is such an amazing figure skater for Royal Caribbean, and she really shows like all of what she does on the cruise ship. It's really cool to see her day to day. And that kind of ties me into the next point of I work for a different company that doesn't have as relaxed rules when it comes to sharing things on social media. So of course Royal Caribbean has their own sets of rules, and then I work for Disney Cruise Line where they are a bit more like strict with what you can share and what you're able to put out online, if that makes sense. So as much as I would love to share my day today, I would also like to be in charge of preserving the magic, and some things just need to be left to the imagination, you know? I'm currently in a transition in my life where I'm considering maybe retiring from cruise ship work. I still want to keep my doors open, you know? So I'll kind of go into the reasons as to why I might not return to cruise ships in a little bit, but I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? I hope so. If not, I will clarify further in a little bit. So now, as I just said, I am kind of in a weird transition in my life where I'm not really sure what I want to do, because as much as I love the work I do for Disney Cruise Line. I love to perform in the shows. I have had so much fun, and getting to make an impact on families and people on vacation is just so special. And it's like something I will treasure in my heart forever and ever. So cheesy. I have this weird thing where I'm on board and I can enjoy my time. I can enjoy my friends and the work we do. But there's a part of me that just, whenever I'm on board, I just feel like I'm losing a part of myself a little bit. And that kind of ties into the not having Wi-Fi, not feeling like connected to people on land, like my friends and family back home, but also just I'm such a multi-passionate person where I don't get to do a lot of things I enjoy doing while I'm on the cruise ship, because obviously you're in the middle of the ocean. You can't just up and do things that you want because certain things you just don't have access to on the cruise ship, you know? So I was grappling with a lot of that kind of dilemma, you know? Because two things can be true. Like, I love doing my job here on the cruise ship, but I also love doing things that are not on the cruise ship. It's really a hard thing to manage. And again, I don't want to make this like too negative or anything like that, but I'm just trying to be realistic and showcase how it can be hard to work on cruise ships. And it's really like a lifestyle and something that you have to choose for yourself. I'm gonna reiterate this again, like I'm not leaving cruise ships quite yet. I'm never gonna say never, but it's something where I just need a little bit of a break for myself and to kind of sort out my life, figuring out what my life is, and some other factors that I had to deal with this contract, which were like, oh my goodness. These are just some of the things that I was dealing with for the past few months. I cannot believe the health complications I've had this contract. As the new year rolled around, I had just like the weirdest things happening to me. So getting colds and getting the flu, like that's like normal stuff in my brain. But I got the worst case of food poisoning near the beginning of the year. I felt like I had no control over my body. I didn't know what was going on. And it was very scary. Like, I've never dealt with something like that before. So then I went to the medical center on board, and they were really concerned for me because I just looked so pale. This next part's gross, brace yourself. And long story short, I threw up all over the medical center. It wasn't on purpose. It just came out. Yeah, they isolated me just to monitor me for a day. And they kind of just decided that it was a really bad case of food poisoning. They actually had to give me a shot just so my body would stop reacting that way. And so I could at least like keep some water down, because I just could not keep anything down. So yeah, I definitely say that was probably like top 3 worst experiences of my life. Like probably number 1 is getting COVID for the first time. Number 2 is this food poisoning. Like it was truly terrible and I thought I was gonna die. I thought I was gonna die. So that was fun. And I was hoping that would be my last run-in with medical, but of course it's never the end, is it? I was just slowly trying to eat food again. So for like 5 days, I could only really have like a liquid diet because I could not eat solid foods. Like it just was so unappealing to me. So then once I started feeling better, I was eating, I was feeling great, going to the gym. But then as soon as I started going to the gym, I started having a wrist overuse issue and I was really confused because I've never felt anything like this. My previous contract always felt like I had pretty strong wrists, but because I was in so many shows and I was working a lot, I just think my body was like, okay, we gotta slow it down, okay? So I went to medical again. They kind of just gave me painkillers and just little muscle rubs, things like that, and it just didn't really help that much. So I ordered myself a wrist brace, tried to sleep with that on just to have it on whenever I could. That still didn't help too much because I was still working so much. So I truly just needed to not be working, and that's the downfall of being on a cruise ship. You kind of have to work. That's the point of you being there. So actually, if you don't work your normal amount of hours, like, of course you can take time off if you're sick or not feeling well, but there's a certain threshold where they might have to reconsider having you on the ship because it might be a danger to yourself. So they might want to send you home, and I was really scared of that because I did not want to go home. So it was the kind of pain I felt like I could manage, and some days I was definitely in so much agony where I would like cry myself to sleep. I'd be so sad about this wrist issue, and really, like, why would I sacrifice my body and my health for like just the act of working? So I really had a wake-up call with this wrist injury because I had it for basically the last 2.5 months of my contract, and I just pushed through it, which is really, really detrimental. Like, what if something worse happened to my wrist? Like, I figured based off the research I did, it was some sort of tendonitis or maybe like carpal tunnel, something like that. Unfortunately, the medical team wouldn't send me to a physiotherapist on land, which they sometimes do. So I kind of just had to look up exercises myself and kind of just take care of it as much as I could. I was icing it, I was using heat, I was stretching, I was strengthening it. I truly tried everything. So it wasn't until I got off the contract back in June, I started seeing my own physiotherapist, and she was just shocked at the state of my wrist. She was like, wow, like this is gonna take a while to heal and to improve, because I had been neglecting it for so long, and I pushed and pushed and pushed through the contract, which is just so stubborn of me, which I am very stubborn. It was a big signal to me that I need to be taking better care of myself. I need to put myself first and sort out my life. That was a huge wake-up call because my physiotherapist said it would take 8 to 12 weeks to heal my wrist. And thankfully, like, I was able to follow my little exercises. I was getting more mobility back, and I was increasing, you know, my weights and just really adhering to my kind of exercise plan to get it better. And thanks to physiotherapy, I was able to improve my wrist within 6 weeks, which is actually below of what she had predicted. But I'm so glad that my wrist is better again. Like, it's not perfect. I can still feel a bit of like tugging, but I'm just trying to take care of myself. So with all that being said, oh my gosh. With all that being said, I'm gonna take a break from cruise ships for sure, because I need to be smarter about taking care of myself. I just need to be in a better mindset because, again, being on a cruise ship can be very isolating, and you can't really access certain foods or activities you like to enjoy. And there's just a lot of stuff I miss out on, it feels like. Big events and milestones in people's lives. Of course, I wanna be putting my health first. That's my mental health and my physical health. So I'm really just trying to be smart and take a bit of a break from cruise ships before I get too burnt out from it, if that makes sense. Again, I love the work I do. It's just been tough. With all these health complications, it's really plummeted my mental health. I think more so than I would like to admit while I was working on the cruise ship. So now I'm adjusting to living on land again, and I'm trying my best to take care of myself. I'm just kind of navigating this transition. I'll still be talking about cruise ship stuff, and I'll be sharing other facets of my life that I think people might enjoy here on YouTube. And I do love video editing, and I've missed that because I haven't had the time or energy to really do it. And now that I've kind of taken a break from everything, I feel like I'm so excited to come back here. What you can expect here on the channel is lifestyle content, DIYs, talking about travel, cruise ships, and I also might want to share certain things about being an actor and a voiceover artist and like kind of the day-to-day living. I also really enjoy productivity vlogs here on YouTube, so I might get into that as well. Yeah, just kind of anything that interests me, allowing myself to try new things. If you want to stick around, stick around. If you don't want to see it, that's all right. I won't be offended. Yeah, no matter what kind of video I do, I am so thankful that you're here watching this video and enjoying what I have to say. So definitely subscribe and like this video if you'd like to see more of me and my life as I'm navigating this crazy life that I've led and kind of just transitioning, weaning off of cruise ship life, if you will. Yeah, so we'll see what the future holds, I guess. Oh my goodness. And I will see you on the next one. Bye. Also, fun fact, I became a Canadian citizen. Are you joking?